Today we will discuss two very common basic topic of instrumentation, that is true RMS reading voltmeter, which is used to measure the RMS value of AC voltages feed to it, and that two topic will be covered and come questions on this topic from only in the short note purpose. Okay, so the first topic is 2 RMS reading voltmeter. Now RMS reading voltmeter, as I have already said, that it is used to measure the RMS value of any complex waveform feed to it. Now the operating principle of the true RMS reader is dependent on the principle of thermocouple heating element. Now as you all know that the thermocouple is a device which is junction of two dissimilar metals. Now you can see here a thermocouple. So this is your heater element and this is your thermocouple. Okay, now the true RMS meter, the RMS voltage is feed to the heater and the output voltage is get from here. That is the principle of the true RMS reading meter. Now as I have said that to measure the RMS value of any arbitrary waveform, and that arbitrary waveform may be a sine wave, square wave or sawtooth wave, okay, whose RMS value can be calculated with the help of this meter. Now that voltage has to be fed to an heating element in close proximity to the thermocouple. That means this RMS voltage, whose RMS voltage is to be measured, is fed to an heater element and thermocouple is placed here. Now the definition of thermocouple is it is a junction of two dissimilar metals whose contact potential is a function of the temperature of the junction. Now as we raise the temperature of the heater, then thermocouple produces an output voltage. Okay, now the power delivered, the equation for the power delivered is P equal to V RMS square divided by R heater. That is the equation for the power delivered. Here is the power delivered. Next, the voltage expression for the output voltage that we only interested in, that is output voltage expression is the function of power, obviously. So function of this, and this function of this means we have replace all the constant with K. Okay, and this RMS is only variable. So the output voltage is, in the case of the thermocouple, the output voltage is proportional to your RMS voltage. So that is the main principle based upon which the two RMS reading meter is constructed. Now the value of K, the constant K, consider all the constant thing that is happening within the thermocouple. That means it is consider the material which is used for the thermocouple, distance between the thermocouple, nonlinear characteristics of the thermocouple, all of the constant thing that will not change, that will be considered in the K. Okay, so next, so this is your thermocouple. You can see that the RMS detector using a thermocouple, RMS voltage is fed to the heater and output voltage is get out of the thermocouple. That is the main principle of the 2 RMS reading meter. Next, this is the block diagram of the 2 RMS reading meter. Now the block diagram consists of a DC amplifier. It is consists of a DC amplifier and a indicating meter. Okay, now two thermocouple have been employed here. First one is measuring thermocouple and second one is balancing thermocouple. The two thermocouple is feeding the voltage to the DC amplifier. Okay, and the output of the DC amplifier, in the case of the op amp, you can know that the output of the amplifier is a V1 minus V2. That is the output voltage of the amplifier that will be measured by this indicating meter. Now the measuring thermocouple, the name implies that the input voltage which is to be measured, it feed to the heater element of this thermocouple. Okay, and it produces an output voltage V1, and this output voltage, and previously these two voltage is balancing the bridge. There is no unbalanced condition in the bridge. Now as soon as we fed the input voltage, whose voltage is to be measured, to this measuring thermocouple input voltage, then the balancing condition is disturbed. As the balancing condition is disturbed, this unbalanced condition is reflected in the output voltage here. And also, as long as the output voltage of the both thermocouple is not equal, this feedback thing is going to happen. That means whose voltage is to be measured, RMS voltage is to be measured, we are feeding to the input of this measuring thermocouple, and this balancing thermocouple is just used to balance these two voltages. That until and unless these two voltages are equal, this feedback path is actually going on and on. Okay, so this is a feedback path. This whenever this voltage is applied, previously these two are balanced. Whenever this voltage is applied, the unbalanced condition, whatever may be the unbalanced thing, that is feedback again to here, and that produces a voltage. So if there is a difference, that is again reflected here, and that feedback is again going to here. So until and unless this V1 and V2 is almost equal, this feedback path is going on and on. So that's why it is called the balancing thermocouple. With the help of the feedback mechanism is going to equal the V1 and V2. Okay, so that is the main principle of this balancing thermocouple. It is used to balance the bridge with the help of the feedback mechanism, and this measuring thermocouple is only used or produce the voltage according to the given to the input. Okay, so that is the explanation of the block diagram. Now the equation part. Next, the equation part, you can see that as I have said that the amplified output voltage is like that, just like any op amp. Now the gain of the voltage gain of the DC amplifier is, if you say it is very high, that means V1 and V2 is near equal to 0. So whenever A is very large number for a high gain amplifier, therefore V1 is near equal to V2. So from this equation, this is achieved with the help of a feedback mechanism. Now from the equation, it is clear that this V1 is equal to K into Vrms square, that we have seen here. This voltage is equal to, as I have said, that K into Vrms square, that is written here, and V2, and that V2 is your K into V0 square. Okay, so you can say that your Vrms is near equal to your V0. So that is the output voltage is your equal to your RMS voltage that is fed to the input. So that is the main principle of the two RMS reading meter. That means whatever voltage we apply to the input, the RMS value of that voltage will be reflected at the output. So that is the main principle of the two RMS reading meter. And the block diagram explanation, I have already said that the output of the both thermocouple will be equal, then the bridge balance will be re-established. And whenever the bridge re-establishment is happened, DC feedback current, that is the feedback current, okay, is equal to the AC current and the input thermocouple. That means that feedback current is going to here, heater element of this. So this DC current is therefore directly proportional to the RMS value of the input voltage and indicated on the DC voltmeter of the output circuit of the DC amplifier. Okay, so that is going to be reflected here. So that is the main principle of the two RMS reading meter. You have to just read this principle, thermocouple principle, and block diagram explanation, and this finally this equation. So now we will discuss electronic multimeter. Now in the case of the electronic multimeter, electronic multimeter, in this case we will only discuss the measurement of unknown resistor and unknown voltage with the help of the electronic multimeter. Now in the case of the electronic multimeter, the arrangement is like that. You can see the diagram here. This is a simple electronic multimeter which is used to measure the unknown DC input voltage given at its input. Okay, so the main characteristics you can see here: a balanced DC bridge is given with a PMMC, permanent magnet moving coil indicating instrument is there. So this is a balanced bridge circuit. Okay, and this is the indicating instrument. Any kind of, that is bridge, AC bridge that you encounter, that principle is applied here. And there is a indicating instrument which is used to represent the unbalance of the bridge. If any unbalanced condition is happen within this bridge, then the indicating instrument will deflect its pointer to reflect that unbalanced condition. Next is the range selector. Range selector means we want to measure, suppose, the voltage from 0 to 10 volt. That is one range. You can see the selector switch in the multimeter. And next is suppose 10 volt to 20 volt range, the voltage measured within that range. Next is 20 to 40, like that. That range selector is selected with the help of this resistance combinations. Okay, then there is a rectifier circuit to convert AC to proportional DC. And there is the internal battery. Internal, as all of you know, that there is an internal battery inside the every electronic multimeter to operate this bridge circuit. So there is the internal power supply apart from the external voltage that we want to measure given. Okay, and there is a different kind of function switch. Function switch is used, that means if you want to measure the resistance of the unknown resistance, and if you want to measure the unknown voltage, that will be provided by the function selector switch. Okay, so next is the this diagram description. In this diagram description, there is a very simple diagram. This is a range selector. I have said that different range of the voltage measurement selected with the help of this. We will discuss later it. And next there is the two FET. First FET is Q1, second FET is Q2. There is a transistor circuit. Okay, so first is FET Q1 and second is first Q2. And in the initial condition, balancing is achieved. Balancing is achieved means these two bridges are balanced. Now in spite of the balancing is happen due to the mismatch of, suppose there is two same condition transistor is there. If we get the same transistor, same model, all of the things are same, and we connect with a balancing circuit, there is still some mismatch happens between them due to the internal circuitry. Okay, so whatever I am telling to say that what is the use of this zero adjustment? Zero adjustment switch. This is a zero adjustment calibrator switch. This zero adjustment calibrator switch is actually used to get the null condition if there is any mismatch happens due to these two transistor only, or any kind of internal circuitry mismatch condition happens. Without, suppose we don't give any kind of input and still we are getting some kind of voltage at the indicating meter, so that actually indicates that there is some kind of mismatch happening within the transistor or within the resistance, any kind of thing that maybe mismatch happens. That mismatch happens is actually nullified with the help of this zero adjustment switch. So that is the zero adjustment switch potentiometer. That is the meaning of these zero adjustments. So next is there is a transistor Q1 and there is a transistor Q2. First, in the initial case, there is a balance. That means there is no unbalance is seen between them. Now if a DC input voltage is applied, then this transistor, we can see that there is a current flow through this transistor. As there is a current flow through this transistor, so in that portion of the circuit there is a unbalanced condition is achieved, and that unbalanced condition is calibrated to see the effect of this indicating meter. So that is the main principle of the electronic multimeter, and all of the things is calibrated so that we can see whatever unbalanced condition is achieved through the application of this DC input voltage, that will be reflected onto this meter. Okay, so that is the main thing of this, and that is the zero adjustment. And next, the range selector. Now the range selector is used, suppose we want to measure the high voltage. High voltage means suppose you want to measure the 1200 voltage. Now the 1200 voltage cannot be tolerated by, or maybe 300 voltage, or maybe 120 voltage that you want to measure through the electronic multimeter. Now the electronic multimeter, the main operating circuitry of the electronic multimeter is based on this transistor Q1 and Q2. Now the transistor Q1 and Q2 and the resistance R1 and R2 that cannot tolerate that type of high voltage. So that's why we are connecting a input attenuator circuit. That the input attenuator circuit is nothing but, so suppose this is your DC probe, that the DC probe has a fixed resistance 3.3 mega ohm. Next we are connecting different arrangement of the resistance. Now different arrangement of resistance is actually happens, suppose this is 3 volt range. Okay, so the main function of the attenuator circuit is that suppose we want to measure a very high amount of voltage. Okay, so that cannot be tolerated by the transistor Q1 and Q2, so that voltage is reduced with the help of this attenuator circuit proportionally, so that voltage can be applied to this meter. Okay, and the meter is so calibrated, the transistor Q1 and Q2 is so calibrated that it is actually giving the output in accordance with this. So all of the things are actually calibrated, not actual thing is happening, because 1200 volt cannot be tolerated. If we connect 1200 volt directly with the multimeter, the whole of the multimeter will burn out. So that's why we are giving the mega ohm arrangement range, so that voltage is reduced to the circuit level, so that we are getting the desired level, and all of the things is calibrated so that we can getting the meter arrangement like that. 1200 volt meter will show the 1200 volt. Okay, but the actual voltage that is coming to the gate of the input of this transistor, of the source, or coming out of the source of this, that is different voltage, that is the voltage tolerable by this transistor. Okay, so the main idea behind is that all of the voltage is going to reduce to their particular level. Suppose 3 volt is reduced by their 100 level. Okay, and 120 volt is 1200 volt is reduced by 100 levels, so 12 volt is actually applicable, and that 12 volt is calibrated so that it will reflect the 1200 volt at the output. So that is the virtual thing. Okay, all of us in the virtual thing, but the actual thing that is getting here in the 12 volt, like that. So that is the main function of this is actually an attenuator circuit. Next is measurement of resistance. Now the measurement of resistance is actually happens with the help of this circuit. So this is your op-amp circuit. Okay, so this is your op-amp circuit, and this X, through this X and X prime you want to connect the unknown resistance, and there is an internal power supply. As I have said that within the electronic multimeter there is an internal power supply, and there is a resistance arrangement. Okay, like that. So now this unknown resistance is actually giving its value to this meter, and how is actually happen. This is the circuit diagram actually. Through this X and X prime we are giving the unknown voltage, and through R1 and R2 arrangement we are getting the, suppose this is your R1 and R2 and this is your V. So Thevenin's equivalent voltage for this arrangement, this is your V, this is your R1, this is your R2. Okay, this is your R1, this is your R2, and this is your V. Thevenin's equivalent is VTH equal to V R2 divided by R1 plus R2, Thevenin's equivalent voltage, and resistance arrangement is, as there is a parallel circuit, so R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So that is the main Thevenin's equivalent circuit representation of this, like that. Okay, so if we replace with the Thevenin's equivalent, so it is your VTH, this is your RTH, this is your X, this is your X prime. Okay, now if this voltage, if we don't connect any kind of resistance here, so what will meter will indicate? Meter will indicate the actual VTH voltage. Okay, because the gain of the op-amp is actually, you can see that the gain of the op-amp is 1. Okay, so meter will actually indicate proportional to VTH. And if this voltage is actually, if we connect a short circuit of the 0 ohm resistance, then the input voltage to the op-amp is 0 volt, and the output is proportional to this, so meter will indicate 0. Okay, so that is the main idea behind the electronic ohm meter. And with the help of this example, I am again repeating that through this x and x prime we are connecting an unknown resistance, and this is your internal circuit arrangement, and this is the op amp with gain 1, and this is a meter reading. Now if we replace this arrangement with this Thevenin's equivalent source, okay, VTH and RTH, then the circuit looks like that. It is still getting a gain of 1. Now gain of 1 means if we connecting a infinite resistance means if we don't connect anything between that, then the output voltage will be equal to the input voltage. So that will be the meaning of that gain of 1, output voltage equal to the input voltage, or maybe you can say that output voltage is proportional to the input voltage. And if we connect the zero resistance means if we connect a wire between them, then the output voltage is equal to VTH. V0 is proportional to input voltage is 0, gain is 1, so output voltage is equal to 0. In the next through an example we will see the understanding of this in the next class. Thank you.